This is the first lesson in a series of Gujoron theory YouTube videos. Today's lesson is titled Opening Up New Horizons. What is a horizon? When you get over the hill, you see a horizon. The horizon is the line where the earth and the sky appear to meet. Some words that might remind you of horizons are the last paragraph in Heart Sutra. Gate, gate, paragate, prasam gate, bodhiswaha. Let's cross the hill. When you cross over the hill, you see a new horizon. We see a new world. Gujoron that's pretty awesome. To put it bluntly, even compared to the sum of the history of human achievement and wisdom up to now. It doesn't even tip the toe of Gujoron. Not even the knowledge of all scholars, from Newton to Einstein, who has received the Nobel Prize, can match up to it. Why is that? Gujoron deals with the event. What was dealt with before was things. Things and events are two completely different worlds. If we've been looking at things as first and foremost, the world of events is a new world. Why is that? There have been several horizons until now. The new horizon appeared when humans first appeared on Earth about 200,000 years ago. Depending on the scholar, it could be 300,000 years. But the history of civilization is not that long. To the best of our knowledge, it's only been confirmed for 15,000 years. Genetically, we are the same as a Cro-Magnon from 300 years ago. Why did humanity suddenly leap 15,000 years ago? It's because language emerged. There were languages before that, but this 15,000 years ago, a language suddenly developed. What is that? It's mathematics. Why is this important? Isn't it the line that distinguishes humans from animals? This side is human and this side is animal. What is the difference between humans and animals? It's a language. Animals don't have language. Does the presence of a language really make it better than the absence of a language? Yes, it's great, because having language means having representation. So when we say humans are dignified beings, why are humans dignified? Then are cockroaches or ants not dignified? That's correct. Assuming that cockroaches, ants, sparrows, and swallows also have souls. In ancient times, people thought that humans had great souls, while swallows had miserable souls. Humans are souls. We'll be 100 grams of souls, and weasel souls are less than a gram. So humans are greater than weasel. This was the way of thinking, of course. It's an impossible lie. Weasels are unrepresentative. Humans are representative. And human dignity is not meaning a human life is greater than a weasel's life or sparrow's life. It's not about life being different, but humans represent the progress of humanity for countless ages. They represent the progress of humanity that has occurred, which is significant. Why is representation important? Because representation comes from language. No language, no representation. The difference between having no language and having a language is that 15,000 years ago, something suddenly happened to Earth. There was probably something like a language before that. But suddenly, 15,000 years ago, there was an explosive increase in human languages. It's an indication of the work that scientists are doing. What came after this language was math. What's the difference between math and a world without math? Until the 19th century, indigenous peoples, when anthropologists investigated the numeracy of indigenous peoples, there were no numbers. We might think if we have 10 fingers, there should be 10 numbers. Counting to 10 is a very difficult challenge. We do 1, 2, 3, but counting like this is impossible. It's unbelievable for indigenous peoples. 1, this is an odd number, and 2 is an even number, where 1 and 2 are followed by many. 3, the number 3 doesn't happen. The discovery of 3 is a huge revolution and a leap forward for humanity. But why didn't humans discover 3? Just look at 3. It's so obvious it's 4. How easy. So why didn't humanity cross the threshold of 3? There is very political issue here. The moment you go beyond 3, there's a discrimination in human beings. because we're all equal. The moment you count 3, you're dividing people into those who can count and those who cannot. The discrimination begins, and the person who counts 3 moves on 4. So did it stop at 4 or not? No. It went to 5. Did it stop at 5? It went to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So when you look at worldwide numeracy, if you say 5 in our language, it's like 2 and 3. Using both ternary and quaternary systems, eventually reaching 12. Like the 12 animals in the Chinese zodiac and in English too. 12 make dozen. It doesn't stop at 10, but goes up to 12 because it's 3 times 4. For tribesmen's IQ, the number they could handle was 1 and 2, but the moment they discovered 3, suddenly discrimination arose. You go straight to 4, 5, look, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, because there's no stopping step in between. It was extremely ominous, fatal, and dangerous. So, when a young person comes and says to the elders, "Grandpa, I discovered 3, they say. "Shut up, 3 is forbidden." Like this. Never cross this dangerous line. So there's 200,000 years of human history, 300,000 years of history of that kind of relationship. So they settled for 2 without surpassing 3. What's 3? 3 is a triangle. According to some sources, in Nile Delta, when you get taxes, cultivator takes a 1/3, and the landowner takes a 1/3, and king takes a 1/3. Like this, from splitting taxes by 1/3. The theory goes that the number 3 emerged. I'm not sure if this theory is 100% accurate, but there's a theory that the number 3 arose in the Nile Delta. But the moment the number 3 arose, humans started talking about taxes. So 3 is a dangerous number. It's an ominous number. It is the number that plagued the tribesmen. But there were some brave men ventured out with 3.
They didn't stop there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and it goes on and on. And that's how mathematics was born. But within mathematics, there's geometry and algebra. Geometry and algebra are 2 different worlds. Algebra is counting on 1, 2, 3 fingers. It's a way of saying that 1 and 2 are not the same. It's based on perspective. If you look at the colors of the rainbow, that's the algebra. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. They are different. It is dividing into cells. Divide into cells and label them A, B, C, D, E, and so on. The methods of distinguishing between do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, and zi, chu, yin, mao, chen, si are different. From the rabbit's ear to the snake's ear, they're different. So when it comes to geometry, suddenly the thinking is turned 180 degrees. This is the world of different. Let's go to the world of same. As Pythagoras' theorem shows, even if the forms are different, they are same thing. So the world of algebra is the Eastern world, and the world of geometry is the Western world. What's the difference between the West and the East? In the East, people stop at different. In the West, they go beyond. The West goes to same from here. An incredible rush begins, as I mentioned earlier. The moment humans discovered 3, they immediately went to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 12. There's no intermediate stage. There's no quinary, synary, septenary system. So they went up to 12 and then returned to 10. If you study the origins, you can know it. The concept of geometry being not different but the same has opened up an entirely different world. That is when the disaster began, because math books started getting harder and harder from then. The discipline started to become exceedingly difficult. Struggling with painful mathematics study, humans are left wringing their heads. And it creates discrimination because, like I said, tribal people never touch 3, and the moment you touch 3, you create a caste. The dominant and the non-dominant have been split. So the moment you go from different to the same, the conquest begins. The West comes to dominate the East. So this sameness is enormous. The moment you step into the world of sameness, tragedy begins. And the brass gentlemen have transcended that world. The leap from this same to the next is a topology. Topology talks about the bridge of a Gwinnessby and so on. It's not about the bridge. Even if the form is different, it is same. In the perspective of topology, if the number of intersections is the same, they are considered equivalent, even if the shape is different. If the number of intersections is same, it is same. This way it becomes a completely different world. Similarly, in Gujoron, if you go into the world of events, if the event is the same, it's the same. So same 1, same 2, same 3 come out. It starts out different, then it's the same, then it's the same, then it's the same. Underneath it, it is a world of not knowing. Tribesmen without math. So we go from the world of not knowing to the world of different, and then back to the world of the same, and then the world becomes more the same, very the same, and so on. So once the humanity enter the world of Gujoron, humanity have come to a completely different world, falls into an irreversible catastrophe. Humanity, which was already struggling with difficult math, ends up in an even more difficult world. But there's no need to be afraid. What I'm saying is that the world of Gujoron is a completely different world from the world of the discipline as we know it. Up until now, there was the world of things, but now there is the world of events. The difference between things and events is that things have observers. Who are the observers? Humans. If there's a thing, there's someone looking at it. There's something here. There's someone observing it. If something exists, it exists symmetrically. For something to exist, it must be symmetrical. If something is not symmetrical, it does not exist. But in the world of events, there are no observers, but there are symmetrical. So, in the world of events, some things have symmetry in themselves. There's symmetry within objects themselves. There is a symmetric structure of A and B in an object. So why is this important? In the world of things, the different forms have different properties. There are many different things, different properties. Gold, silver, copper, naphtha, they all have different properties. Caucasian, African, Asian, Hispanic, all different. Then, looking at the world of events, depending on how A and B's gap are adjusted, different forms appear in different ways. As I mentioned earlier, the world of events isn't about being different, being the same. So the world of things is where human interest lies in the differences between them. How is he different from her? Koreans often like to talk about how Jews are a bit different. German men are disciplined. Japanese people are diligent. Americans have a puritanical spirit. British people are gentlemen. And the French are good at romance. They're interested in what makes people different, right? What's the difference between this and that? What's the difference between men and women? What's the difference between homosexuals and heterosexuals? What's wrong with them? They always say, it's different, 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 different. And you have to find some way around it. If I don't find something different, I can't calm my temper, and I'll figure it out somehow. The gays, they're different. New Yorkers are different. Manhattanites are different. Cheongdo kids are different. They are always interested in North Korean, Japanese, American people, asking what's different, and being interested in differences. But when you go to the world of the events, they're all gone. We're in the same world now. So, what's the same in this world? It's the energy. In the world of events, energy, directionality, the start of an event, and integrity, these are all the same. In the world of things, the forms are different, the outcomes are different. Properties are different, different sizes, it's different. Things have been the history of humanity. The events is a challenge for humanity. In the world of things, has a size, has a shape. And there's the result. In the world of events, there is energy. Because it's also called the beginning of an event. And it's directional. There is integrity. But this isn't different. What's different about energy? Energy is the same. It's always the same cause. There's no such thing as a different cause. And the direction is always the same. Integrity is always the same. This side is paying attention to being the same. That side is interested in being different. Why do we see objects differently? Because there are observers, there are humans. Events are seen as internal symmetrical structures. So what you see as an interval between the two is an event, and humans touch it, hold it, smell it, hear it. It's world of things. The world of things is touched by humans, whether they touch it, smell it, see it by color, or however they touch it, because humans are individual. It's going to be different because, like I said, the world of algebra is different. So they say the world of geometry is all the same. So algebra and geometry, this is what separates the East from the West. It's the essence of why the West is advanced and the East is backward. The West had geometry, and in the East there was no geometry. So people in the East were like, oh, he's different from me. It's different in high class and low class. It's different in Chungcheongdo and Jeolla. They've always been interested in other things. On the other hand, when you learn geometry, you're interested in sameness. So the Gyeongsangdo and Jeollado are the same. Men and women are the same. Korean and Japanese are the same. African American and Caucasian are the same. Always keep your eyes on the same thing. Then the difference between caring about the same thing and caring about something else is that caring about something else will keep you alive. Being interested in the different ensures survival. So if you want to survive, you have to keep an eye out for what's different. Oh, there's a valley, there's a mountain, there's a forest, there's a tree, there's a field. I need to hide in the field. I need to run away in the forest. I need to climb a tree. I need to climb a ravine. I need to get on a boat. I need to get away. You're always interested in survival like that. If you go to a world of sameness, you want to control what it is. For example, if you have a big flock of sheep and they're all the same, then you can use them all. But if they're different, when the sheep and goats are mixed together, you separate them. You separate the sheep and the goats because they are different. If they're different, he keeps trying to separate them. But if they're the same, he tries to combine them. So people who are interested in the same thing can control the object and make it their own and somehow fix the problem. For example, if men and women are the same, the problem is solved. If men and women are different, then you have to have a separate bathroom for women and a separate bathroom for men, and it's just a headache even with separate clothes for men and women. If men and women are the same, then how nice it is to wear pants together. So if there's a problem, saying they're the same solves the problem. They're different means you can survive. Those who want to survive are interested in the difference. Those who want to win are interested in the events and the sameness. So what I'm suggesting to you is that you want to win or you want to survive. If you want to survive, you can stay in the world of things like you've been doing. If you want to win, you have to come into the world of events.
You need to come into the world of events, which is a completely different world. So to get into this world, you'll need a fundamental shift in thinking. A profound transformation must occur. A spiritual change must happen. The soul must change to enter this world. Do you really have the intention to come? So far, those who are not really interested in hearing about this can leave now. I see such people as who are Gujo deaf, not welcome. After you heard this story, if you feel a stirring in your ears, if your heart beats faster, if a fiery ember ignites within you, then you can move on to the next step. That's it for today's lesson. Thank you.